Hey guys, here we are with the Simp League Season 4 Week 2 Team Builder versus We Without Rest. For reference, I am 1-0 and my opponent is 0-1. And this week he has a pretty interesting team, as you can see on the right hand side. To me, this team reads as more singles oriented than anything else. Obviously, it does have like some doubles things like Weezing and Regigigas and also Electabuzz. But Pokemon like Espathra and Gliscor tell me that this team was influenced by singles to some extent. He does have some really scary Pokemon though, like Annihilate and honestly Blastoise and Muck as well. Let's get right into it. And my old mic, I think it's broken, so I'm running on a backup mic now. So forgive me if I sound worse than last time. Let me know what you think. Anyways, yeah. First up is Mousehold. This is my main support Pokemon. It's meant to be next to things like Gengar or Hydreigon to try to redirect things or cause mayhem so its ally can do stuff. This time I've opted to bring the Population Bomb. There's no risk of stamina or anything, so Population Bomb seems quite strong here. He does have 3 ghost types in Annihilate, Driftblim, and Chandelure, but everything else this should be decently strong into. Now, the weird thing about this is I don't know too much about how like the damage formula works and like the nuances of it. I guess it's like kind of weird because of like rounding with like a low base power move or something, but most attack EV increases seem to have literally 0 effect on Population Bomb's damage. So I just decided to give it enough EVs just to hit the next bump, so to speak. So 44 EVs was enough to deal slightly more damage against Blastoise, most Muck, Milotic, and Espathra. To that end, it's also about a 50% chance to one-hit KO offensive Espathra from full, which is cool. I know I had Feint last time, kind of as a meme. I never really clicked it, but this time I have a genuine use case for it. If Espathra comes, it's going to have a tendency to protect, I think, in order to facilitate its speed boost ability, especially on turn 1. I don't think he's going to be bringing Opportunist, but maybe I'm wrong. So if I can predict that it's going to protect turn 1, I can feint it to break its protect and then knock it out before it gets out of hand with its speed boosts. Taunt is here to help against Annihilate, to stop it from using Bulk Up, or even Espathra to stop it from using Calm Mind, or even Blastoise to stop it from using Shell Smash. Lots of potential setup on my opponent, so I decided to bring Taunt to help me out with that. Our speed investment here lets us outspeed Jolly Annihilate. Annihilate hits 156 speed, so we reach 157. You're going to see that benchmark somewhere else on my team. His fastest neutral speed benchmark is Espathra at 105, and I think his only tailwind setter is Gliscor. So the speed tiers are like a little bit more packed. There's nothing really above 105 naturally, so to speak. So it's a little bit easier to calculate benchmarks this time. 156 HP EVs lets us live a +1 Lumina Crash from Life Orb Espathra, and the remaining investment in defense lets us live a Drain Punch from Adamant Annihilate. Wide Lens obviously helps out with the Population Bomb, and Terra Fairy helps out defensively against Annihilate without making me weak to Annihilate's Ghost or Espathra's Psychic. Okay, next up is Gengar. Gengar is a potential lead option along with Mousehold. It's solid offensively versus Annihilate and Espathra. Being a Ghost type means we don't immediately lose to Choice Scarf Final Gambit. No Icy Wind this week, and in fact Regieleki doesn't have Electro Web either. It's way too risky as he has Annihilate, which can have Defiant, and Milotic, which can have Competitive. However, we do have Haze to try to reset stat changes from Blastoise, Annihilate, Espathra, or the like. Shadow Ball hits pretty much everything hard except for Regigigas and Muck. Both of these I'm hoping Registeel can handle either way, so I'm not too worried about that. Destiny Bond is there if Annihilate or something else is getting too crazy. I can live one Rage Fist with the Cassid Berry and then Destiny Bond after so that we can trade. But honestly, the intention here is more so for the existence of the Cassid Berry and Destiny Bond to dissuade being attacked at all, since my opponent is able to see my moveset. To that end, this actually was originally supposed to be Focus Sash, but I found it was better used on Ribombee instead, so we're going with Cassid Berry. The other option was Payapa Berry to help against Espathra. Or actually, which one is it? It is Payapa Berry, okay, but we're running the Cassid Berry this time. The speed lets us outspeed the entire team unboosted. Naturally, his fastest Pokemon, like I said, is Spathra, 105 speed, so we're just reaching that benchmark. If it's Opportunist or something, we can still outspeed it, so that's fine. And then, of course, max special attack, rest in defense to help with the Rage Fists, I guess. We do live a 100 base power Rage Fist, so that's nice at least, especially since Shadow Ball isn't a 1-hit KO. But the idea is for Maushold to be drawing at least one hit anyway. I'm kind of interested to see the potential 50-50s arising between Maushold and Annihilate and Gengar, because if it's Rage Fisting the Gengar, it would be beneficial for me to draw that away, but if it's Drain Punching instead, because normal and Ghost, fighting hits one and does nothing as the other, and Ghost hits the other and does nothing as the first one. But yeah, we're going to see how this turns out. And we have Terra Dark on this, just to remove the Ghost and Psychic weakness. They're going for a defensive Terra this time. I could have gone for Terra Ghost. Maybe that is better, to be honest, but I think as I'm still starting to get my feel for things, I think I'm going to start leaning mostly towards defensive Terras, but we'll see. Obviously, the thing with Terra Dark is it means that I effectively don't have an item anymore because Dark isn't weak to Ghost. Okay, Registeel. This is a good defensive answer to Espathra and Muck. As far as I know, neither of them can really do much to me. Espathra has to Terra Fighting, and that makes Terra Blast a 2 KO, unfortunately. And Muck, I think, has to burn it with Fire Punch in order for that to be a problem. Heavy Slam is, once again, going to be our main stab move. I thought about bringing Iron Head this week because it lines up better with the typings, but I suspect that if Drifblim or Muck show up, they might have Minimize, so I'm bringing Heavy Slam to account for that. If you don't know, Heavy Slam doubles in damage and never misses if the target has used Minimize. Body Slam and Stomp and a couple other moves have this effect too. However, unfortunately, if a Drifblim minimizes and then Baton passes, this effect is not transferred. So we will lose that. Shadow Claw is helpful against Espathra and also Drifblim, and it is super effective against Annihilate, but generally I don't want this out against Annihilate, not without multiple curses up at least. However, we do have Terra Ghost to power up Shadow Claw and to remove our fighting weakness if it comes to that. And like I said, we have Curse. This also lets us set up and get stronger. I didn't want to bring Body Press this week because of all Ghosts, so I settled with Curse for setup. Now, I know I do have Curse and Terra Ghost together, and this is not actually with the intention of using the Ghost-type Curse, but it is a funny option. I do have to be aware, though, that Curse's behavior will change when I Terastallize, so I do have to watch out for that. Maybe I'm bulky enough for Ghost-type Curse to work, but we'll see. And leftovers for the residual recovery, of course. And as for the EVs, I have cooked. We have max HP with 108 defense, allows us to live 2 Drain Punches from Annihilate. 52 attack EVs lets Heavy Slam be a 4-hit KO on Espathra, ignoring Life Orb. And then I dumped the rest into special defense, and with that there were 4 EVs left over, which I put into speed, which lets me outspeed neutral Muck by 1 point. Okay. Next up is Hydreigon, which is another premier offensive option. The best offensive answer that I have to Gliscor without Terastallizing. Something cool about my opponent's team is everything on it is neutral to Dragon. So I thought about bringing a Scope Lens with Focus Energy and Draco Meteor, but that's going to take a lot of setup. Unfortunately, I don't have something with Dragon Cheer, so I can't use it to immediately boost Hydreigon. Well, Hydreigon has Dragon Cheer, but that doesn't really help me here. However, I noticed Chandelure on his team, and Assault Vest Hydreigon seems to completely wall it, so I went with that. Dark Pulse is another great stab option, of course. 164 special attack EVs lets us 1-hit KO an uninvested Chandelure from full with Dark Pulse. To that end, we hit the same speed tier as Maushold, allowing us to outspeed Annihilate. Notice they have the same speed. And then after that, I just put the rest in HP. Earth Power helps against Muck, which is kind of scary. I don't know if I should expect an Assault Vest, but the default set on the calculator is Leftovers, and it does 35 to 42% to that. And Terra Blast is a funny option to help counter Milotic and Blastoise, which I'm really worried about. I think Terra Electric actually kind of works well here because the Terra Blast, it makes it Electric type, which helps against Milotic and Blastoise, which I am kind of lacking in answers for, besides Regieleki, of course. And it also is really good defensively because As you guys might know, Electric is only weak to ground, and Levitate makes us immune to ground. So it is a pretty cool combo. Okay, next up is Regieleki, which is not here to control speed this time, but rather to just be an electric type. I am too scared to bring Electroweb against the Annihilate team. Milotic can be kind of scary and difficult to knock out without preparation, so this is my preparation. Figured I should bring a strong electric type to take it down. Thunderbolt is the main stab move here. Thanks to Magnet and Transistor, it is almost a one-hit KO on most Milotic and an easy one-hit KO on all offensive Blastoise even before a Shell Smash. Shockwave is a niche option here to make sure that we hit minimize Drifloon or whatever they baton pass into. Shockwave does 82 to 98% to the standard Drifloon set on the calculator. So that to that end, our speed tier is designed to let us outspeed Modest Unburdened Drifloon. It is also faster than Choice Scarf Annihilate, Modest Shell Smash Blastoise, +1 Timid Spathra, or an uninvested Gliscor after Tailwind. And Terra Ice Terra Blast is here so we can take out Gliscor because we forewent the Hydro Pump on Hydreigon. So my offensive answer to Gliscor is going to be Terra Ice Terra Blast. This easily one-hit KOs pretty much any Gliscor out there lacking Assault Vest. And last but not least, we have Rabambi, the final support piece for the team. Tailwind is a useful option to help out. Rabambi is faster than his entire team, naturally, and he has no Prankster users. And Blastoise, I believe, is his only Fake-Out user. I brought Shield Dust anyway, even though Blastoise is his only Fake-Out. Maybe it's more valuable to bring Sweet Veil to avoid Hypnosis from Espathra. But I think getting off Tailwind reliably is more important overall, so I am settling with Shield Dust here. I really don't want to get faked out and flinched by Blastoise and lose a bunch of momentum off of that. Focus Sash is here for longevity. This is the reason that Gengar and Regieleki don't have Focus Sash. I didn't really have anything better to think of to give this. This is a pure support set with Pollen Puff for health and Helping Hand for increased power. Mousehold, it doesn't have Helping Hand this week, so I'm putting it on Rabambi instead. And Moonblast was way too scary to put on because of potential special attack drops triggering Defiant or Competitive. Dazzling Gleam wasn't really very strong, I thought. It doesn't really have much use, I think. I'd rather have the utility moves from like Helping Hand and stuff. I could have put on Alluring Voice, which would be interesting, but I think right now, at least, I'd rather have the Helping Hand. Maybe I'm wrong though, but I think the Helping Hand will come in clutch, especially if we're next to Gengar. It'll allow Shadow Ball to pick up a lot of key KOs, like on Annihilate and the like. But yeah, that's the team. Really hoping to pick up another W this week. And yeah, see you tomorrow for the battle.